Good afternoon, YouTube. Yes, good afternoon. Robert Alvarez, the Psychic Witch, also known as Mr. Lighting in a Fan. It is approximately 1:50 p.m. Eastern Time, and the date is Monday, November 14th, 2022. We have a rare, exclusive video, afternoon edition. Before I go any further, I want to acknowledge my two newest YouTube channel subscribers. They are Elizabeth English, with a beautiful name, and Shauna Ray Tarot. Shauna Ray and Elizabeth, welcome to the YouTube channel of yours truly, Robert Alvarez, the Psychic Witch, also known as Mr. Lighting and a Fan. And since I'm a full disclosure kind of person, the fan is off and the lighting is natural. How about that? Okay, so I wanted to talk to all of you about my experience at the Séance dinner at the Pandorica Restaurant, which was the mediumship event that I had the honor and pleasure of doing, starring in, being a part of, whatever you want to call it, which was on Saturday, October 29th, 2022. It was beautiful, it was wonderful, and you know, I remember after I first agreed to do this event, I distinctly remember I began hearing the name Delia, and at one point I heard, "You can call me Dee Dee for short." So of course, the first opportunity, which was not even 2 minutes into the beginning of the evening, I remembered sharing this with all the attendees, and I asked, "Does anybody have a connection to a Delia? Raise your hands." Nobody raised their hands. And then I said, "Does anybody have a connection to a Dee Dee? Please raise your hands." Nobody raised their hands. And of course, I started laughing, and I said, "Why am I not surprised?" So it is now official. Dee Dee is the spirit guide that is going to be a part of my mediumship readings. So, yes. I was just like, why am I not surprised? So, hold on a moment. Drake, are you okay? Oh, okay. So I was just like, here we go. So, and it's not a coincidence, because the few times that I receive a name, it usually is a spirit guide or a psychic guide saying, "Hi, I'm with you. My name is whatever." David, my primary psychic guide, that was the situation. And then, of course, Anthony, my other primary psychic guide, and now I have Dee Dee. For the record, I have 39 psychic guides, and now I have one mediumship guide. So let's see what happens over the next few decades. Now, in case you're wondering, as much as I would love to offer psychic mediumship readings, I'm feeling that perhaps not yet. I have absolutely been guided and led to take some classes first. I'm definitely interested in taking classes with the John Holland, who is a very well-known and internationally well-known psychic medium. And there is someone that I found out about through Lisa Young Sutton, who is the author of now 2 books about Le Petit Lenormand. And the person's name is Pam, well, I gotta pronounce it the way I know how to pronounce it, Coronado. And I love that her last name means crowned, because a coronation is a crowning ceremony. So Pam Coronado's last name literally means crowned, as in, I have been fitted with a crown. I'm like, oh, what an amazing name. Like, it's even more amazing now that I know what it means. So it was just a truly phenomenal evening, and make no mistake, there were no rules. And that's actually an interesting thing, because somebody had asked, "Are you okay with me talking to someone throughout the night?" I said, "I have no problem." And then he said, "Because I don't know what the rules are." And I said, "First and foremost, I have no issue with you talking to your dinner companion. That's or anybody else in the evening, number one, for that matter. And number two, there are no rules. I'm doing this for the first time, and this is the first event of its kind. The Pandorica Restaurant in beautiful Beacon, New York, is doing this for more than 2 years. So, there are no rules." I am simply following Dee Dee's divine directions. And that's how it went. And it really was a phenomenal evening. The readings were a combination of psychic mediumship, clairvoyance, and clairaudience. So it wasn't just a psychic mediumship reading. And the interesting thing was that the four people who had private readings with me beforehand, with one of them I used cards. I had no plans on using cards. In fact, Shirley, the owner of the Pandorica Restaurant, was a little concerned because I primarily use cards when I'm at Notions and Potions. So I didn't want to step on anybody's toes with regards to using cards. But strangely enough, there was only one private reading that I did where it seemed like I needed to use cards. And it was because the client wasn't exactly like, I'm not sure what to do here. And I said, okay, you know what? I'll use a deck of cards. Let's see what happens. And of course, I used one of my personal favorite Lenormand decks, but that's another story and another topic for another video for another day. It was amazing. It was truly amazing. I had an amazing time. And to my fellow Whovians and fans of Doctor Who, this brilliant, beautiful, amazing television series, if you are ever in Beacon, New York, I cannot over-recommend that you go to the Pandorica Restaurant. Currently, the Pandorica Restaurant is open Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. That may or may not change next year during the summer, spring and summer, but I always recommend contacting the restaurant and or calling the restaurant or the establishment, if you will, just to make sure. Because even though we're no longer in a pandemic status, COVID-19 is still a real thing. People are still dying of COVID-19. So I do feel that when it comes to just making sure what's going on before you go to an establishment, you might want to check with the establishment, make sure that the hours are correct. And, you know, for me, living in the United States, I've grown quite accustomed to using Google Maps. I don't know who else uses Google Maps in other countries, so I don't want to assume anything. But since I've only lived in the United States, I can only go by my experience. But there have been occasions when Google Maps says the hours are this, and I've gone and the hours are not. In fact, I remember Drake and I, when we went to FlameCon this past August, I wanted to get a cup of coffee before we received our delivery order for dinner, and I walked to this cafe which serves Lavazza coffee. Now, I am a big fan of Lavazza coffee, and I know that if I bought Lavazza coffee at home, I would like, I probably would drink a lot more coffee than I already do, but that's another story. And I will tell you that I was disappointed to see that they were closed, and believe me, they were closed. And the sign on the door said closed for renovation. Google Maps did not have that information, more than likely because the ownership did not tell Google Maps, hey, we're going to be closed for renovation from this date to this date. And I have not been back in that area since August, so, you know. But I found another place to buy coffee that was in the vicinity of the hotel, and that coffee was made with, as I lovingly say, crack and witchcraft. It was so good. Oh, so good. It was like, ooh, baby. So anyway, I am forever thankful to Shirley Wenlock-Hot, the beautiful owner of the Pandorica Restaurant in beautiful Beacon, New York, for extending the opportunity for me to not only offer another skill, but also enhance and augment my psychic abilities. And of course, I want to thank everyone who had such open-mindedness and openness and kindness and courtesy towards me, and the staff. I want to thank the staff for busting their asses big time and making sure that everybody was served beautifully and correctly and professionally and in a friendly manner. And I want to thank those individuals who expressed an interest in either having a private reading with me after the event or hiring me to do events like a house party. And for the record, I'm still becoming a little more comfortable with being around people professionally. I mean, I'm still taking precautions up the yin yang. I'm still wearing a face mask if I don't know who the people are. I did feel it was safe for me to take off my face mask when I was around the others. And no COVID-19. So far, so good. So, you know. So, yeah. So thank you to all of you in YouTube land for honoring who I am and what I do. And thank you for all of you honoring Drake, more commonly known as my awesome audiovisual person for my YouTube videos and everything he does as well. I cannot thank you enough for all the likes, for all the comments, for all the shares, and for all the subscriptions to my YouTube channel. And of course, thank you to those of you who have scheduled your sessions, including the individual who's going to have a reading with me by phone this Saturday, November 18th, 2022. And of course, thank you to all of the kind words, all of the beautiful comments. And just for my own peace of mind and yours, I can still offer mediumship abilities through, let's say, an intuitive card reading or a clairvoyant session, but a purely mediumship reading, I feel like I need to have a few more skills and a few more experiences under my belt before I begin offering that psychic service professionally fully. So just an FYI. Thank you. Have a beautiful day. Enjoy the rest of your day, evening, night, weekend, week, etc., etc., etc. And of course, stay tuned for the next video.